Have you ever had one of those oops moments that ended up working in your favor? Maybe you spilled coffee on your shirt, only to bump into an old friend at the laundromat. Or you took the wrong exit and accidentally found the best pizza place in town. Now imagine that, but on a global scale. History is filled with accidents that completely change the world. Some led to amazing discoveries, while others caused disasters that forced humanity to adapt and grow. Today we're diving into 6 shocking accidents that reshaped history as we know it. From a lazy scientist's mistake that saved millions of lives, to a wrong turn that started a war. These stories prove one thing. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs happen when we least expect them. Let's jump right in. Imagine you're a scientist working in a messy lab. You leave some Petri dishes out over the weekend and come back to find that mold has started growing all over them. What do? Most of us, we'd probably throw them away. But in 1928, a scientist named Alexander Fleming took a closer look. He noticed something strange. The mold wasn't just growing, it was killing the bacteria around it. And just like that, penicillin was discovered. At the time, bacterial infections were deadly. Something as simple as a small cut or common cold could turn fatal. But thanks to Fleming's messy lab and one unclean dish, antibiotics were born, saving millions of lives. We've all heard of the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, but do you know how it started? Legend has it, a cow named Mrs. O'Leary's kicked over a lantern in a barn, and just like that, the flames spread. Chicago was mostly made of wooden buildings, and in just 2 days, over 17,000 buildings were destroyed, leaving 100,000 people homeless. Sounds like a disaster, right? Well, yes, but also no. Because of the fire, Chicago had to rebuild from scratch. And instead of just replacing the wooden buildings, they did something radical. They built up. This disaster pushed architects to develop steel frame buildings, leading to the world's first modern skyscrapers. Chicago went from ash-covered ruins to one of the most advanced cities on Earth. So, did a cow accidentally help build a super city? Maybe. Christopher Columbus wasn't looking for America, he was actually trying to find a shortcut to India. Back in 1492, trade routes were slow and dangerous. Columbus had an idea. Why not just sail west to reach India faster? What he didn't realize? There was an entire continent in the way. After weeks at sea, Columbus finally landed on what he thought was India. But it was actually the Caribbean. He even called the native people Indians, not realizing he was in a completely different part of the world. This wrong turn led to the exploration, colonization, and global trade that shaped the modern world. But here's the real question. Was Columbus lucky, or just really bad at geography? You decide. Not all accidents have a silver lining, some are just catastrophic. In 1986, engineers at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine were running what should have been a routine safety test. But due to a series of miscalculations, the reactor overheated and exploded, causing one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. Radiation spread across Europe. Thousands had to evacuate, and to this day, Chernobyl remains uninhabitable. But here's the unexpected part. Chernobyl is now a wildlife haven. Without humans around, nature has taken over. Wolves, deer, and even bears now roam freely, thriving in what was once a toxic wasteland. Chernobyl is a reminder of both destruction and resilience. A tragic accident, but one that taught the world of valuable lessons about nuclear safety. Now, let's lighten things up with one of the most delicious accidents ever. In 1853, a chef named George Crumb was working at a restaurant in New York. A picky customer kept sending back his French fries, complaining they were too thick and soggy. Frustrated, Crumb decided to mess with the customer. He sliced the potatoes paper thin, fried them until they were crispy, and added extra salt. To his surprise, the customer loved them. That prank led to the invention of the potato chip. Now, a billion-dollar industry enjoyed all over the world. We use microwaves every day, but did you know they were discovered by accident? In 1945, an engineer named Percy Spencer was working on radar technology. One day, he noticed something strange. The chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. Curious, he placed popcorn kernels next to the machine and watched as they started popping. Realizing the potential, Spencer developed the first microwave oven. And today, it's one of the most widely used kitchen appliances in the world. So, what do you think? Which of these accidents surprised you the most? From mold saving millions to a cow helping build skyscrapers, history is proof that even the biggest mistakes can lead to something incredible. And who knows, maybe your next mistake will change the world too.